You're listening to Civic Media. You can tune into any of our live shows on any radio station across the state with the Civic Media app. Find us in your phone's app store and listen anytime, anywhere. This is your WXCO Daily News Roundup for Bull Falls Radio, 98.9 FM and 1230 AM in Wausau.
Civic Media News. I'm Terry Bell. Here's what Wisconsin needs to know. The Biden administration is announcing plans to invest almost $93 million to create jobs and reduce energy costs in rural Wisconsin. The USDA's Julie Lassa says the money will go directly to farmers, business owners, and power cooperatives. Biden was in Wisconsin last month to talk up his administration's rural energy initiatives. The Wisconsin Supreme Court is considering the governor's expansive partial veto power. The High Court heard oral arguments yesterday over Governor Evers' veto last year that increased public school spending for 400 years. Justice Jill Karofsky.
This does concern me where we have a legal scholar and he's looking at all 50 states and he's saying, Wisconsin, we don't think you're doing this right. There ought to be some limitations.
The court will hand down a written ruling in a few months. A new Quinnipiac poll finds Donald Trump with a slight lead in Wisconsin. 48% of likely voters support the Republican and 46% back Democrat Kamala Harris. With a margin of error of plus or minus 3 percentage points, the race is pretty much still a tie. The same poll gives Tammy Baldwin a 4-point lead over Eric Hovde. A record high number of adults with disabilities have jobs in Wisconsin, more than 178,000 as of last year. Melinda Craig is a disability employment specialist. She says workers with disabilities seem to have better luck finding jobs with small businesses.
We do find that it's a little more difficult to connect with those bigger companies to encourage them to hire individuals with disabilities.
October is National Disability Employment Awareness Month. The mice are so bad right now on Rock Island State Park off the tip of Door County that the remote spot is now closed to camping for the rest of the season. A massive infestation is reportedly chewing through tents, shoes, and even plastic storage bins. DNR wardens suspect mild weather last winter helped the mouse population on the island explode. Wisconsin's newest license plates are raising money for the International Crane Foundation. The plates were designed by Wisconsin artist Jay Jokum. They feature a sandhill crane and a whooping crane. The Crane Foundation gets a tax-deductible $25 gift with each new plate and annual sticker renewal. I'm Terry Bell, Civic Media News. Here's what you need to know closer to home.
For WXCO News, I'm Brittany Merlot. Medford hopes to end a streak of failed referendums. The last time the district passed a referendum was in 2016. Its new request, though, is more expensive and involves multiple projects. Medford is asking their voters for $22.6 million to make improvements to the high school, middle school, and other buildings throughout the district. These would be longevity projects that would take multiple years to finish. The referendum took the top 5 needs identified by the district and the community. They include connecting the tech ed building to the high school, updating bathroom plumbing so pipes can be accessible when there's a clog, remodeling or expanding the tech ed classroom, and making areas like the high school basement safe for all students by creating an accessible exit. The district gets a lot of state aid because it receives less in property taxes than the state average, and they get even more aid when they spend. If the referendum does not pass this November, the district will still make improvements using their current budget and trust fund. The Abbotsford School District is being accused of violating federal Title IX policies. Advocacy groups for Fair Wisconsin and G-Safe claim that the school board voted to remove gender identity from their own Title IX list of protections. The groups have filed complaints against 5 school districts across the state, including Abbotsford. The Wisconsin Legislative Council says that the organizations that violate Title IX can lose federal funding. But G-Safe says that they don't want it to come to that. They said that they just want the school district to add protections for trans and non-binary students back into their policy. And Riverside Elementary School has become an Apple Distinguished School. By using iPads for the past 10 years, it's a distinction that very few schools in the country have from Apple. And Riverside is the first in Wisconsin. The school principal, Kevin Campman, said that the school does receive some coaching from Apple under this recognition. Northwoods communities will receive grants from the state for broadband access programs, including Phelps, Plum Lake, and Mercer, which will go towards funding public facility expansion or improvement projects designed to help with broadband access. Phelps will receive $4.25 million to go to the construction of a new public library and community center. This will benefit over 1,200 people, including seniors, families, and those who have low to moderate income. Funding will go towards building a multi-purpose facility, which will include a library, a classroom, and a computer lab with 20 laptop computers. The project will also include improved high-speed internet and upgrades. Plum Lake will also receive $4.25 million, which will assist with the construction of a new community center, benefiting over 1,600 people, including those who had trouble in accessing work. The community center will have 3 multiple-purpose spaces, a classroom, and a computer lab with 20 desktop computers. One Cronin-Wetter family is hoping to make a difference in Wausau by building tiny homes. Each home will include the basic essentials to help people get back on their feet. The family's initiative has inspired schools from Marathon County to join in on building. 4 schools from throughout Wausau are building them, and the first one to join is Mosinee High School. Wausau East, Wausau West, and Marathon High Schools will also build one. And it's the time of year to make sure that your vehicle is ready for colder temperatures before the snow arrives. Ready Wisconsin is reminding folks to put together their winter vehicle emergency supply kit now. You want to be sure to have a blanket, mittens, hat, and winter boots. Don't forget the ice scraper and snow brush are essential. A flashlight, extra batteries, and jumper cables are important too. You should also have a first aid kit, multi-tool, cell phone charger, and adapter. It's also good to have water and non-perishable snacks in your vehicle. And a bag of non-clumping kitty litter or sand is also recommended. And that's what you need to know. I'm Brittany Merlot for WXCO.
Bucks basketball tonight. Hi, I'm Mike Clemens with sports. NBA, it's the Bucks and the LA Lakers in a preseason matchup at Fiserv Forum in Milwaukee. The Bucks' new shooting guard, Gary Trent Jr., says he's okay after suffering a hyperextended elbow against Detroit. How's it going?
We've been pretty good, being proactive about getting back on the floor. We had a good practice today, and our goal is to continue to keep building through the preseason.
College football, the Badgers have their final practice before flying to New Jersey to take on Rutgers. Wisconsin is 3-2, Rutgers 4-1. NFL, the Packers getting ready to play the Cardinals. The only player to miss practice, defensive tackle Devontae Wyatt with an ankle injury. Back at practice, wide receiver Romeo Doubs. Matt LaFleur on having to suspend Doubs last weekend.
You never want to get to that point. And that's why I think, one thing that's so important for all of us involved is you got to communicate.
That's Packers head coach Matt LaFleur. With sports, I'm Mike Clemens.
On your entertainment beat, I'm Pete Schwaba. There have been whispers over the years in Hollywood that Halle Berry and Billy Bob Thornton had actual sex during the filming of Monsters Ball. Berry appeared on Dax Shepard's Armchair Expert podcast to officially state that she and Thornton did not have sex during the filming, adding that Thornton was married to Angelina Jolie at the time. Billy Bob also denied rumors in 2012 on a different podcast. Berry became the first black woman to win a Best Actress Oscar for her performance in the 2001 film. Pretending to enjoy sex with Billy Bob probably really stood out. Misfit singer Chapel Roan called her high school theater teacher the B word on stage. Roan is apparently still salty that she got kicked out of the theater club in high school. Since then, her legion of social media followers came to her defense and share their own horrible relationships with high school theater teachers being mean and kicking kids out of theater programs across the globe. Look inward, Chapel and followers. Maybe you're just really bad actors. It's always fun when A-listers with good track records team up on a movie project. Deadline reports that Christopher Nolan's next film will be at Universal, the same studio behind Oppenheimer, a film that took home multiple Oscars and made almost $1 billion worldwide. Oppenheimer actor Matt Damon is rumored to play the lead. Like all Nolan projects, the plot of the film is a big secret, but the film is expected to start shooting in 2025 and will have an IMAX release July 17th, 2026. Jenna Fisher just disclosed that she was diagnosed with breast cancer last fall, but is now cancer-free. Fisher played Pam Beasley on The Office for the run of the show and decided to go public with her cancer struggle this month, given that she was diagnosed in October 2023. October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. She is using her platform to encourage all women to get their routine mammograms, saying if she had waited another 6 months, it might have been too late. Good advice. Grief can affect people in different ways. When Lisa Marie Presley lost her only son Benjamin in 2020, she literally could not say goodbye. CNN Entertainment reports that Lisa Marie, Elvis's only child, kept her son's body at home for 2 months after his death. Presley's memoir, From Here to the Great Unknown, was published posthumously. Lisa Marie passed away in January of 2023. Her memoir was completed by her daughter, actress Riley Keough, who used tapes that her mother had made to complete the work. Keough says there are no laws in the state of California California that state a body needs to be buried immediately. So they kept Benjamin's body on ice in a room where the temperature had to be 55 degrees. She also says that Lisa Marie wanted to do this because Elvis's body was kept at their home after he died of a heart attack when he was 42, which allowed Lisa Marie to take her time and say a proper goodbye. Lisa Marie Presley and Benjamin Presley were both buried with Elvis at Graceland Cemetery. For more showbiz fun, tune in to Nightlight with me, Pete Schwaba, weeknights from 6 to 8 p.m. on the Civic Media Radio Network.
Mostly sunny today. We'll get to around 73 for a high this afternoon with wind out of the south at 5 to 15. Tonight, partly cloudy, low 50s tomorrow, mid-70s. After that, we're going to cool down. 61 Saturday showers, 53 by Sunday. I'm meteorologist Sean Cable. Current temp now 37.
That's your WXCO Daily News Roundup from Civic Media. Subscribe to this podcast on Spotify, Apple, or wherever you find your podcasts. Find more news at bullfallsradio.com. The national news cycle never stops, but it can be hard to find news about your local community. Civic Media is dedicated to providing quality local and state news coverage across Wisconsin. With the Civic Media app, you can get notifications about local stories that matter to you and your community. Find the free Civic Media app in your phone's app store and choose notifications from the menu to tell us what kind of news you want to hear about.